Welcome back everyone to another mod showcase, and today we are going to be reviewing the Power Gems mod. And this version I'm going to be reviewing is 1.7.10, but there is a new version which is 1.21.1, but I do have an issue with booting that one up. But we're just going to be reviewing the 1.7.10 version because this is the most iconic version that I'm very familiar with, because I remember popular MMOs used to do a showcase on this mod back in the day. And I am looking at the mod page currently, and I'm just going to read a few things of what these ores and these items actually do. But I'm just going to read the overview. So it says, the power gems were mysterious things that were said to grant one power if used correctly, each gem having an affinity of a particular mystical effect. So these type of ores actually have properties of magic. It's quite interesting that a piece of rock can generate magic. It quite intrigues me. But anyways, so in this chest we have all of this armor here. So we have is amethyst, topaz, citrine, peridot, sapphire, aquamarine, tourmaline, lapis helmet, and crimson. So there's a total of 9, but when I look at the mod page, it says 7. So they kind of added 2 more in here. So this is kind of new. So I'm just going to read each of them. So amethyst has strength, topaz has speed, citrine has fire resistance, peridot has haste, sapphire has resistance, aquamarine has jump boost, tourmaline has regeneration, lapis lazuli has water breathing. But I don't know anything about crimson, since crimson seems like it's a new type of armor here. But first, we're just going to give this stuff a try. But if you guys want to know how to make this stuff, all you just need is amethyst, and you just got to get it from the ore right here. I'm not sure at what Y level it is, but it may be underground, deep in the ground somewhere. And to make the chest piece, you're going to have to make the Power of Strength, or the Power Gem of Strength, which requires amethyst. But I probably recommend getting Fortune on your pick, so you don't have to make tons of errands. But once we wear the armor, you can see that it kind of matches with my shirt. This is kind of like my very old skin instead of my lab coat. But once you fully equipped, you get yourself Strength 2 for indefinite. So this thing is very powerful. And Mr. Chicken, what do you think about my amethyst sets? Yeah, I love your feedback. Anyways, so we have the Sword of Black Death. Devastates the foe with Wither 2. I wish I can test this on a mob, not a chicken, because he gave my approval. I'm just going to try on these sheeps over here. So the Sword of Black Death, I'm just going to click you. You can see that it does inflict the wither, but this thing does 7 attack damage, which is very insane. Interestingly, the blade doesn't take any durability, which is very surprising, since in this version, you could probably just keep using it over, but it's still very useful. Let me just take this off and then put on the topaz. But like I said, it's on their mod page. I'll include the link in the description. So topaz gives you speed. So if I wear this, it's going to be yellow. It kind of looks very yellow like the sun. And I get speed for 5 seconds indefinitely, moving really fast. And the blade, the Sword of Paralysis. Paralysis the foe, stopping them in their tracks. So if I try to smack the sheeps again, it seems like we're just going to be abusing the sheeps today. If I smack you, which has 7 attack damage, this is really not fair. I mean, I really need like a tough mob that I can actually smack, like a zombie. But you can see that if we try to smack a mob, it's going to give him like slowness or such. If I can try to recall from when popular MMOs did a video on it, it basically prevents the mob from moving. Basically, that's what Sword of Paralysis does. And I can take it off, and the recipes is basically topaz, and you just need the power gem of speed, which is topaz. So I'm just going to pretty much say that these recipes for all the chest pieces are going to be very similar to what I have mentioned in the amethyst chest plate or the amethyst recipe. And then we have citrine, which requires citrine, peridot, sapphire, aquamarine, tourmaline, and lapis. I think lapis is very interesting since you got to convert the current vanilla lapis into a lapis gem. So if you have all that lapis in your inventory, you can just convert it into this to make yourself some useful armor, and you can make yourself the gem as well. So for citrine, you get fire resistance. So let me try that on. And let me just tell you guys the truth. This is my first time actually just doing this in real time because I haven't really tested these ahead of time. So I'm pretty new to this. So when we put this on, we have fire resistance for fire resistance 2, and it lasts forever. So I think all these last forever once you put on the armor. But what's interesting is some of the armor is actually like very good. It's like better than diamond apparently. Like it just fills it up. Like all you just need is like what, a helmet, chest piece, and leggings, and you just get all the armor slots. The boost is just overkill, and it gives you the perk. And this blade is the Sword of Flames. Burn off all armor and weapons off the foe. I remember when somebody did this, they hit a mob that had all the armor on them, and it just went away. I really want to try this, to be honest. Let me just go to creative mode just to try get some zombies. I mean, I'm really trying to see if this is like gonna work. But I know they're going to burn. Oh, never mind. I got to change my difficulty. Come on. I just want to try something. I wish I could give them, like, fire resistance. Come on, zombies. I need... Yeah, you're a good example. So if I hit him, his armor is immediately gone. So, yeah. Now I know that this actually is very effective. And now we have to slay a whole burning horde of zombies. But... at least we know that it's true. Look at all this experience. But that's what the Sword of Flames do, and it does not get worn down by the durability. Next, we have his Paradots, and we know what this does. It grants us haste. So if we wear this armor, this is kind of like regular armor, but once you put it on, you get haste 2 for 5 seconds or indefinitely, and we break the blocks a little bit faster. It's very good for mining if you really don't want to, say, mine very slow or you're trying to get away from a mob that's pretty dangerous. So just wear some Peridot. But the armor looks pretty nice though if you actually try to wear it with shaders. And we have is Sapphire, and Sapphire grants resistance. This is basically tough armor. So once we wear this, we're basically tough. We're like very tough, so we could probably tank some damage, like a few hits from like a skeleton, a zombie, a spider, and possibly a creeper. But actually, I want to try against a creeper. I mean, it might be a very silly idea, so let me just get myself a creeper egg. And yeah, I'm just going to try because this is just for science, okay? I might die, but that's what it's part of it. Look at that. We actually survived the explosion. We didn't immediately die when blocking our sword. But I do want to try it again, but this time not blocking with the sword because the sword kind of reduces the damage impact. So let me try it again. That's actually pretty good. And we are pretty immune to that. And this is the sword of the bull. Intimidates the foe, making their hits weak. This actually grants weakness. I'm pretty familiar with that. It grants weakness. I mean, I would say most of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. I don't probably have to explain all of it, but I must because it's for science. And then we have Aquamarine chest piece, which requires Aquamarine, and Aquamarine is jump boost. It makes us jump higher. Yeah, only 2. I mean, it's still good hops. You can still jump over some certain structures. But, I mean, I'm just saying this mod is very useful. And do I hear a zombie? Zombie, where are you? I probably might want to kill you so I can try you with this Sword of the Angels. Lifts the foe into the air. But it seems like all these mobs are going to die to one hit if I actually try doing that. Like, look at that. I even try to flip this sheep in the air and he kind of just vanishes. Like, look at that. He went to the heavens. Like, he literally went to the heavens. Bro, Sword of the Angels. Send the mobs to heaven. Just do that. They're in the sky. Oh, that's so funny. Like, that's genuinely funny. So we're going to be trying the Tolermine armor. I'm not sure this is how you say it. I kind of butcher these words because they're just kind of made up. I mean, I'm not the perfect word sayer in the world. So Tourmaline gives you generation. So that means we can just put this armor on and just gives us heart regeneration. And we also have a Scythe of Reaping. Slowly recovers your health while in combat. So this is mostly lifesteal. So basically, we're wearing a full lifesteal armor set, which is very useful for regenerating health. And let me just kill this chicken. I mean, you can barely see any changes because we're full of health. But if we try to put this armor on and off, you can see that we do fill our armor really quickly. So that means it's strong just like diamond. And if we try to get near a creeper, we're pretty fine. So let me try with a creeper, because I really want to start testing this stuff against creepers, because sometimes the creepers are a lot more reliable when it comes down to armor like this, since it's intentionally OP. So we have the Reaping. Okay, we survived that. Never mind, he kind of exploded too late. You can also block with the Scythe, but the regeneration is kind of just very good. It's like it barely moves. Yep, that's really good regeneration. So we are fine with the Tourmaline. And the durability is probably just like diamond. I'm just going to say most of this armor is like diamond anyway. And then last but not least is the Lapis Lazuli Water Breathing. But actually, we still got the Crimson left. I'm just reading the mod page, word from word. So we have this Lapis armor, which gives us water breathing. So we're going to dip ourselves in the water just to see if we don't drown. So once we wear this full armor set, we just go in the water. I might have to break a piece of stone or whatever. And then look at that. We get water breathing for indefinitely. So we can basically go mining underground in the water without no problem. Just add some respiration and aqua affinity. You can mine forever. But the only downside is Depth Strider. I'm not sure if this version has Depth Strider. So you might have to, I guess, cut your trips to the water really short. Or you may have to build a dome while wearing the armor, just in case you just want to build an underground water dome. Last but not least is the Crimson set. In the mod page, it hasn't really highlighted this new armor, but I will try it for myself. So if I wear this Crimson, it's very strong, just like diamond. Crimson boots. So what does this grant me? That's strange. Wait, why is it not covering my feet? That's so crazy. I mean, I'm really trying to understand the purpose of this. And my Crimson Axe isn't taking any durability, apparently. That's very interesting. I'm trying to see what else I can do with Crimson. If I smack you, you just die. This is kind of confusing. Let me just, huh? Wait, what did this armor do to my stuff? Like, now it's just a regular spawn. Like, what did it do? That is so crazy. I'm not sure what the intention of Crimson. Like, the sheep is fine. Like, he did any damage. That is weird. Does it do something to the eggs or something? I don't know. Zombie. Let me try zombie eggs. If I go to survival and I put this on. Oh, that is so strange. So I think for this version, they're still working with the Crimson. So I think Crimson must be a new armor that they're still working on. But I think that's all the armors for 1.7.10 currently. And they are very interesting in their own way. But we still got to check into the 1.15.2 version, since that is the only version I can probably go to showcase the more current or recent version of it. And Unfortunately, I can't do the 1.21.1 version because, you know, bugs, issues, and crashes that I frequently kept going through. But anyways, we are going to change our version to 1.15.2. Alright, so we have booted up our 1.15.2 world, and as you can see, there are only 7 armor pieces here. So you can see there are a few that are missing, which is the citrine, so you don't really see citrine in here. So that probably explains why you only see 7. So this mod is still updating, but it's still going through bug issues. And we can still wear the armor just to give it a try in this version. So if we wear this armor, it gives us strength 2, as it promises. So if we try to use the Sword of Black Death, it still gives them effects. We have the Sword of Paralysis. Yep, so you can see that the cow is trying to move, but he can't move. The Sword of Flames. Yep, he gets cooked. We got the Sword of the Bull, which gives them weakness. The Sword of the Angels. I have to send the cow into the heavens. Yep, it still works. If I just spam, yep, you can see that it still works as it does. And we got the Scythe of Reaping, which gives us a little bit of regeneration. Meaning these items still work. But it's quite crazy that I had to flip from 1.7.10 to 1.15.2. And it will probably be similar for 1.21.1 and so on. But anyways, this will conclude for the showcase. And I hope you guys find this showcase helpful in some way. But it does spark some memory for me when I used to watch popular MMOs back in the day. Because he used to showcase this mod and it was very interesting with how he set up the obstacle course and everything like that. But also trying to understand the properties of these armors. Because I mostly don't really showcase armor mods, since armor mods kind of just vary based on the abilities being used. But for this mod, all you just gotta make is those gems, because you gotta make the gems in order to do that. And you can also make a block of topaz just to, I guess, make it colorful. But this is just a very interesting mod just to showcase, just to give me something to research and check into. But until then, see you guys with another mod showcase.